So, as I've said, welcome to Uxbridge College Sixth Form Open Day. Just going to start with a little video. Well, I hope that's given you a little taste of life at Uxbridge College. There'll be more to come as we go through the presentation today. But before we start, I'd like to invite our principal, Daryl, who's going to give us a welcome.
Hello everyone, my name is Daryl, and as principal of Uxbridge College, I'm very pleased to be able to welcome you to this virtual Open Day session. I'm aware that lockdown has been a difficult time for everyone, and especially so if you've been trying to gain your qualifications this year. And if that is the case, I really do hope it's gone well for you. But now is the time to put next year's plans into action, and this virtual session should help you do exactly that. There are a range of career options open to you, and it's worth being aware that Uxbridge College offers some of the widest choice of academic, vocational and technical qualifications at various levels to suit your interests and abilities. The college has an excellent track record for success with consistently high performance over more than a decade. Currently, we are the highest performing college in London for 16 to 19 learners, and this has been the case for the last 2 years. Moreover, our A-level and English and Maths progress scores are amongst the highest in the country. Our teaching staff are specialists in their areas and bring with them vital industry experience to ensure that learning is relevant and that our learners achieve well. In addition, we have a strong reputation for quality support for our learners, and again, to ensure that they succeed and progress, which they do. We've continually invested in our facilities to ensure these are fit for purpose and to industry standard, and created really excellent social and recreational facilities for our learners when they're not in lessons. Now, our staff are here to help you, and because we have such a wide range of choices, we will assist you in finding a suitable place at the college according to your qualifications and your abilities. But importantly, it'll be on a course that you are interested in and therefore have a best chance of succeeding in. I hope I've given you a little flavour of what's on offer at Uxbridge College, and should you wish to join us, I do encourage you to apply early to secure your place here at the college, and I very much look forward to meeting you and welcoming you in person in September. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. So as Daryl said, we're incredibly proud to be #1 in London. This is for the 2nd year running, and that was endorsed by the Department for Education in their achievement figures for 16 to 18-year-olds, which was published in March. And there are another couple of reasons why we're so pleased that we're #1. We're the 2nd largest FE college in London, but also our students really do rate us. In the FE Choices survey, We came first for student satisfaction, and that's really pleasing because if our students are happy, that's really good news for us. We also have the first value-added score for our A-levels. That's in London and also 9th nationally. And our English and our maths progress was in the top 10 nationally as well, and number 1 and number 3 in London. And above all, our students do go on to great things. There's a little bit more you'll find out about where they go on to throughout the presentation. So before we go on to the curriculum area, and Jack gives you more of an insight into the A-levels and the science programs, just a little bit about how we work with our students. Our courses are here to are designed for you to have a fantastic future and help you progress. You may be considering going to higher education at university. You might want to go on to an apprenticeship or perhaps straight into the world of work. But when you finish your college, there's lots of options, and we're here to support you and help you with that. Your course is obviously your main qualification, but there are other things as well around that. You'll have some English and maths, some employment skills, perhaps a work experience or a placement, some enrichment and some progression support. All of that helps you to succeed. And we've got great links with employers. As I said, there are opportunities for some work experience. You may have guest speakers coming into the classrooms. You might be going out on trips and visits. All of these things are enhancing what you're learning in the classroom. But above all, we support and encourage you to work hard and to achieve your goals. We also provide fantastic industry standard facilities, and Darryl touched upon that earlier. We've got well-equipped classrooms, workshops, studios, and specialist workspaces. So depending on what you're studying, you can rest assured that we do have high quality spaces for you to learn in. And our staff are really highly qualified. They come with a lot of industry experience and knowledge about the areas that they teach. And Jack will tell you a little bit about the staff in a moment. They're there to have the skills and knowledge to pass on to you, so it prepares you for the workplace or to go on to university. But we know college is not just about the learning, it's a social side as well. And obviously you want to have a good time when you come and join us. So there's lots of things you can get involved in outside of the classroom. There are lots of activities on offer, perhaps some volunteering or fundraising, and there are social events that you can join in with too. And you can also share your views. So if you're interested in governance, you can help shape college life by joining the student union. Perhaps you might become a tutor rep and you can share the thoughts of your class peers. Ofsted monitor what we do in education, and in their last report, which was published in July, when they came in, they said that our teachers have high expectations for their learners. That's really important to share with you. As we've said, a lot of our students, a lot of our staff are highly qualified, and our students get the benefit of their knowledge. Our teaching staff know the learners really well, and they work hard to help them deal with any problems that might stop their learning. And above all, our students and our apprentices are also really positive about their learning experience, and they say they enjoy coming to the college. So what's better than that? So now I'm going to hand over to Jack, and he's going to give you a little bit more information about the Uxbridge College Sixth Form. Jack.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Lucy. Welcome to, as Lucy has already said, welcome to the Uxbridge College Virtual Open Day, a new experience for all of us, I'm sure, and more specifically, welcome to the sixth form part of the presentation. My name is Jack Harris. I am the head of sixth form, and I am also a teaching member of staff. So anybody who's interested in doing A-level physics or A-level maths is likely to have me as a teacher from September. I hope you and your families are safe and well, and thank you for joining us this evening. I've got about 20 minutes or so, so what I'm going to hope to do is to really try and give you a flavour, to give you a sense of what it would be like to study in the sixth form in September. So let's move on. Lucy, if you want to progress the slides, please. So I just thought I'd put that up there and you can sort of digest that for a moment. That is, I could have put maybe 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 pictures on this slide because we do have that many student successes, but I thought it was really important for you to see just some of the successes that we've had over the years. Let's move on, please. So that's me, just in case you didn't get that. A question that I get asked quite a lot on open days specifically is, how are we different from a school? So how do we differ from a school sixth form? And I've thought about the answers to that and thought about what answers I give most frequently. And so I've given those here. So our specialism is A-levels, but that is pretty much all we do. We do some GCSEs as part of our resit program, but that's our thing. A-levels is our thing, which means that you haven't got any key stage 3, little year 7s or year 9s running about the place. Some of my friends are teachers in a school, and they often tell me they've had a year 9 class and then they go to their sixth form class for a bit of a breather. Well, you won't get that here. Also, unlike a school, our subjects can really be studied in almost any combination. So I know in schools that you're restricted to studying certain combinations of subjects because of how the timetable works. But really for us, if you wanted to study something such as media, A-level media with A-level maths and A-level chemistry, you can absolutely do that. And every student who applied to us in September was able to study their first choice subjects without any clashes whatsoever. And lastly, Lucy's mentioned it as well, I'll emphasize this now and I'll also emphasize it a bit later, is that our staff are specialists. They've chosen to specialize in the teaching of A-levels. So they're subject specialists, but they're also experts in the pedagogy and assessment of the courses. And it really is no joke, that last line on the PowerPoint, you won't have any PE teachers teaching you maths. All the people standing in front of you in those classes are subject experts. Let's move on. So why should you rather choose the Uxbridge College Sixth Form Centre? So we don't perhaps offer the breadth of subjects that you might find in a school sixth form. So we offer 13 ASA level subjects, of which you will study 3. Although if your GCSEs are sufficiently strong, we do have a small number of students who study 4 AS levels. We go for quality, not quantity. We do offer 10 GCSE subjects, so anybody wishing to do a GCSE resit program, we have 10 GCSE subjects, of which you will study 5. And then we offer the level 3 in applied science and the level 2 in applied science. Both of those, by the way, are the RQF qualifications. So those are a mixture of exams as well as coursework. Just to say with the AS levels and the A levels, for AS level, you get 4.5 hours teaching per week per subject. And if it's A level, then you get 5 hours a week per subject per week. We have the experience as well. I probably should just say one more thing, which is that we are one of very few places that still allow students to sit AS exams. So it's not like school where you will do a 2-year A-level course and you'll do the exams at the end of the 2 years. Our students do the AS exams formally, externally, marked by examiners, nationally recognised. And given the situation with COVID, that's been particularly useful for our A-level students in helping us predict their grades. But it's also beneficial for UCAS. We've got a much clearer idea of students' abilities and how to predict their grades. We have the experience. So in the sixth form, we've got about 25 very well qualified and experienced lecturing staff and support staff, from attendance coordinators to school administrators. Many of the staff have advanced degrees, so many of the sixth form staff are educated to master's and PhD level. And a point Lucy has already mentioned but is relevant here is that a lot of our staff have industrial experience. So members of our science department have been pharmacists in previous careers. Our course team leader for science was a scene of crime officer. One of them was an industrial chemist, and our law lecturer still does, to a certain extent, work as a solicitor. So they've got not just the academic experience, but they've also got the industrial experience as well to support. Next slide, please. Thank you. So I'm just going to flash this up and just give you an opportunity to have a look at it. You may be interested to know, well, what subjects do we actually offer? So just digest that for a moment. What I will say to you is that the ones in light green on the left-hand side, those are our A-level subjects, AS and A-level. The ones in dark blue on the right-hand side, those are our GCSE subjects. And the one in very dark is the applied science at level 2 and level 3. Also, just to make you aware, pay particular attention to a possible addition to our A-level subjects from September. We are considering offering A-level economics from September. That's not been confirmed yet. We're still going through the planning stages of that, but that is a possibility for September for those who are interested. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you. So now moving on in terms of more reasons why to choose the sixth form centre. Lucy's spoken about the results across the college. I thought I'd talk more specifically about the results within the sixth form. So this is 2019 results in A levels. So 16% of the grades were A star A, 40% were A B. So of the 120, 130 A level students, somewhere near half of them got what we classify as a high grade, that's A star to B. 70% of grades at A level were A star to C, and our pass rate 98%. And just a couple of points on the sort of right hand of the screen that are flashing up now. Lucy's already mentioned it. We are first for value added. So our value added for A levels was first in London and 9th nationally. And now I really want to labour this point, 9th nationally. So that's not comparing us to other colleges, it's comparing us to other all schools, all colleges in the United Kingdom. So we are 9th. So if you think about all the schools, colleges, independent schools, private providers that are offering A levels, we are 9th for the progress that our students make. So you are really likely, if you come to the sixth form in September and you work hard and you dedicate yourself, you are very likely to make good or better progress in terms of the grades you get. And lastly, we are the second largest A-level provider in Hillingdon by number of students. In total in the sixth form, we've got about just over 600 students, of which around half are A-level and the other half are split between GCSE and vocational applied science at level 2 and level 3. Other reasons why you should choose to come to us in September: fantastic facilities, even if I do say so myself. Our laboratory is very modern, very spacious, well equipped, up to date, not like perhaps in schools where you're sitting at sort of very old wooden benches and sort of squeezed in. Very open, very spacious labs, and modern teaching spaces, including dedicated computer rooms, of which, if you were studying subjects like media, you would have dedicated use of those spaces. So a good sixth form, certainly in my opinion, is not just about the qualifications. It's also about the experiences that we are able to provide to you. So additional opportunities aside from the academics are things like the medical society. So this was set up probably 2 years ago by a group of students who were applying for medicine, and that really has grown into really something quite special now. It is totally run and overseen by students. They have guest speakers, they arrange talks, they help you with your preparation for medical studies, university applications. And the very nice thing about that is they do hand over the running of that to other students. So when some of the medical society students have gone on to do their medical degree, they then hand it over to another student to take over the running. For the more sporty amongst you, we've got the sixth form football league, which runs at lunchtimes during the year, and we have a competition, a five-a-side competition. It does get very competitive, often refereed by some of the sixth form staff. So if you want them on your side with decisions, be nice to them straight away. Mindfulness sessions, this is organised by our course team leader in science. A levels can be stressful, GCSEs can be stressful, studying can be stressful. So we decided let's put some mindfulness sessions on to students to help them cope better with the demands of their studies. We also have an LGBT society, again, totally set up by students, run by students with guest speakers. And then we have the annual politics trip to Downing Street, as you can see in the photograph there, as well as regular theatre trips, and also some more curriculum-specific trips depending on what subjects you study. So there's lots of opportunities, lots of stuff to get involved in the sixth form, but also in the college. I'd also thought I'd flash this up. Again, this list could have been 2, 3, 4, 5 slides long. Often in open days, parents and students come and say to me, well, you're not as good as a school, are you? And really, I'll sort of let the results do the talking. And also, if you look down the right-hand side of the table, you'll just see some of the fantastic universities that our students have gone on to study at. And look at those grades. It's not all about grades, you know, it is part of what we do and why we're here. But, you know, Romail last year, our star performer, top performing student, 4 A stars, and is currently now studying mathematics at Cambridge. But a number of other students, Erdi was a refugee, came to us from Eritrea, very little in the way of sort of academics, got 2 A's and a B after studying here with us for 2 years, and is now studying medicine at Brighton and Sussex Medical School. So I want to emphasize to you that these are not high flyers. They look like high flyers on paper, but they are students who have worked exceptionally hard. So to anybody out there thinking, well, you've got to be a bit of a brain box to go to any of these places, I would absolutely say to you that you don't. If you're prepared to work hard, your name could be on that list. So I know I've done a lot of talking, and you might think, well, he's kind of paid to say all this stuff. Just a couple of sort of testimonials, if you like, from a current student and a former student. So I'll just leave that there for a moment or two, just for you to take a read. It's probably worth noting that Christina is probably going to be our top performing A-level student this year, and she has completed very valuable work experience with Saatchi & Saatchi, the very big sort of marketing, if you like, and PR company. She applied to Cambridge, sadly didn't get through, but she has some fantastic offers for Russell Group universities, UCL, King's College. So she's likely to be one of our top performers this year.
She's going to feature just in a moment as well, Jack, on another slide.
Excellent. So you'll
there
get
we go.
To see.
There she is.
Studying very hard, as you will see. A little bit more about sort of the university, sort of UCAS side of things. So last year in 2019, 81% of our sixth form students progressed to university. So that's all sixth form level 3, sort of second year students progressing to university. It typically fluctuates sort of from year to year, anywhere between sort of 80 to 90% of students. Some of them go on to apprenticeships. Some of them don't go on to university at all. Some of them just do A levels and decide to go off and work. But last year it was about sort of 81% of students going to university. And in terms of the places where they went, so we'll just flash this up and you can see sort of some of the institutions that the students are currently studying at. Obviously Cambridge with Romail and a few others, Brighton and Sussex, the medical school, a range of universities from Russell Group all the way down to some more specialised universities like the University of Law. So we've had a number of students go there, and we've had a number of students apply there this year as well. So I kind of hopefully have done a good enough sales pitch to you, but just to say that this could be you, students on this slide that we're flashing up, and all the other students that I could have put a picture of. They are no different in any way, shape or form to you. They have all worked exceptionally hard to really get to where they have got to. And if you really want to be part of that, then please do make an application. And I would absolutely love to see as many of you as possible on results day. So thank you for listening to me. See you at enrolment.
That's great. Thank you, Jack. It's always lovely to see the students when they're collecting their results and going on to do fantastic things once they've finished with us off to university. And many of them do keep in touch. We have an alumni society. We always encourage our students to come back and tell us how they're getting on. So it's always lovely to see those pictures. So just to give you a little bit more information about the support we offer, and I know certainly Jack touched on some of the support available. If you are looking to find out what your next steps might be, you've decided to study with us and you might be looking at what your progression opportunities are. Maybe you're not quite sure. Do you want to go to university, maybe onto a higher apprenticeship or something completely different? We do have our careers team available who help our students whilst they're on their courses to think about their next steps and to plan for that fantastic future. So they are always available for a chat and for advice. We also have a great learning support team. So if you have a learning difficulty or disability, we do encourage you to let us know about that as soon as you can, just so we can help to start get that provision that you might need and that support in place. And we have a really specialist team who work with our students on finding out what is available in terms of meeting their needs. And as Jack said, sometimes it can be a bit tricky being a student and it can be a bit stressful. And we can help with that as well. Our student support team are there for personal and welfare support. So if you've got any problems, you're worried about anything, don't keep it to yourself, do share that. And our team are there and they can help you, provide you a signpost to someone else who might be able to help. And the same with financial support as well, because it can be tricky to study. And obviously, you know, we all have financial commitments. So don't let that be a barrier. Do talk to us about that as well. And our student support team can help with personal welfare and financial too. As you've heard about the academic support that we have on offer, our teaching staff are really highly qualified, very specialist. We also have other academic support that you might be able to access if you are needing some additional help within the classroom. I think the message really is here. You've heard about the courses and you've heard about the support our teaching staff can give, and there's a range of other things as well to help support you. So we just want you to succeed. So do talk to us about that. So if you haven't applied already and you're keen to, hopefully you've liked what you've heard today, it's really easy to do so. You can do that online. It's the quickest and easiest way. If you head over to the website, you can click the orange apply button. When you apply for A-levels or GCSEs, you apply directly to the one course, and then we talk about your subject options with you, and Jack may say a little more about that if anybody needs any clarification. And also the science courses are on there as well. So head over to the website, add the course. You can add as many courses as you like. You just fill out one form. That application account that you create is easy. You fill that in, and then once you've submitted your details, you can log back in at any time to update any information. But once you've sent that to us, we will then get back in touch with you to explain the next steps. As you can imagine, at the moment, we're not doing any interviewing on site, but we are interviewing over the telephone, and we are keeping in touch with people via Zoom and usually by Google Meet as well. So don't worry, we will be in touch. If you do apply, you will hear from us. And if you would prefer to download the application form, you can do that too. You can fill that out and then post it or email it back to us. So that's all great, and you know what you want to do. But if you don't know what you want to do, don't worry about that. We can help with that too. So if you need more information, as I've said, our careers team are available. They're available for students before they join and whilst they join, and to some extent after they've left us, because they do keep in touch. And they can help. You can have a chat with them. They can help you make the right choice. You can contact them by telephone on 01895 853333, or you can email them at inquiries@uxbridgecollege.ac.uk. And also, don't forget the website. That's there 24/7. So you can have a little look, find out more information. There's some student case studies on there, more details about the courses, more information about the A-level subject areas and the GCSEs and the science courses that we offer. So do take a look. We know that education equals opportunity. So what we just say to you is get yourself informed and get involved. And if you've got any questions at any time, then just let us know and we'll be happy to help. So that's everything that we had to share with you today. I'm just going to have a little look to see if there are any questions that are coming through. And Jack, you may be able to answer this one. Somebody's asked, can adults join the GCSE programme?
Yes, they can. Depending on the gap in education, they would more than likely be required to sit a GCSE entry test. Because we don't automatically enroll them onto the course, given if there has been a period of no education, we need to make sure that putting them on it is the right thing to do and they're not going to struggle or end up failing, etc. So yeah, we would probably put them in for an entry test, and then depending on the outcome of that entry test, we would potentially make them an offer, but we'd also discuss potentially other options in terms of, well, what are you looking to do longer term? There might be another route that they might want to take. They might only need to do just English and maths to get to their next step. So it wouldn't be a simple yes, no. We have had lots of adults do the course over the years, but through discussion, we might actually find out that there's a better route to get where they want to get to without having to do a 5 full GCSE program of resits. So hopefully that I answered.
That's great. Thanks, Jack. I think also what we'd say is that if you are interested and you're not quite sure, you can always contact the careers team who can have that chat with you, and Jack and his team as well. And then they'll be able to give you a little bit more information, as Jack said, about the route that's right for you. Because above all, we would want you to succeed. So making sure that you're on the right program to do just that. Another question's come in about, will interviews be conducted by telephone or Zoom? Well, I know that there is a bit of a mix that's going on, and some of our applicants are having telephone interviews and some are having Zoom. The message really is that we will be in touch with you. Sometimes we email and sometimes we send things out in the post. So keep an eye on the inbox, but also we'll get in touch to let you know what the next steps will be. So obviously, if you would prefer telephone, that can be arranged. And obviously, if Zoom or another online meeting platform is available, then whoever is interviewing can keep in touch. So difficult to answer that one because it will just depend on the individual circumstances. But obviously, if you do have a preference, then do let us know. No other questions have come through. There was a thanks to the answer about the adults joining GCSE, so no problem. Thank you for asking the question. Just leave it for a couple of minutes, just in case anybody else has anything else to ask. Whilst we wait to see if anything else comes in, just to say, thanks for joining us today. One of the things that we do pride ourselves on is making sure that our students do well and they are on the programs, the correct programs to help them succeed. So there are lots of other options. So even if you are taking time to think about what you want to do and you get to the GCSE results day, and I know things are a bit different this year, but if the results that you get are better or worse than you expected, don't panic. Our enrolment will start from the GCSE results day on the 20th of August. And what we'd say is still come and talk to us. So if you think that you might not have done as well, don't worry about that. Still come and chat, because we can look to find, if we can't get you on the program that you originally applied for, we can certainly look to find you something else. Jack, I don't know whether you want to chip in on anything there.
Yeah, I just realised that there's probably something I should sort of clarify for people, which is regarding sort of entry requirements for the sort of academic courses. So for anybody who is wanting to do AS levels in September, just to say that it is 6 ACE, well, I'm talking in old money now, 6 9 to 4 grades in your GCSEs, and including English and maths, and each subject will have what we call a subject specific requirement. So typically, if you want to study, let's say, any of the A-level sciences, you'll need a 6 in that particular science, or double 6 if you've done the double science, and also a 6 in maths, for example. And we say in academic GCSEs, so if you've done a short course, we wouldn't necessarily count that. If you've done something like design and technology, then we wouldn't consider that as part of the academic GCSEs, simply, not that we're saying they're not credit worthy or anything like that, but simply because experience and results show us that those type of subjects tend not to be good indicators of A-level success. So that's why we tend to sort of not include them in counting how many academic GCSEs that you've got. And for anybody wanting to do the GCSE resit program, a minimum of 5 what used to be Ds, so sort of 5 3 grades, if you like, in your GCSEs. But I'll just reiterate what Lucy said, which is, even if you don't think you've met the entry requirements, the number of conversations I have and the section managers have on results day with students who haven't quite got there, more often than not, it's a case-by-case situation, and we'll often make exceptions if there's sort of a good reason. So if perhaps you're studying at another college where you could only do maybe 4 GCSEs, then that's something we would certainly look into as to, okay, let's have a discussion about that, rather than saying it's a flat no. So case by case is what I would say if you don't think you've met the entry requirement straight away.
Thanks for that, Jack. Just a question that's popped in while you were sharing that information. If somebody has not been able to take their GCSEs this year, so they wouldn't obviously be coming to us with any qualifications as such, because they haven't sat those, would they be put on a GCSE programme, and would that be full-time?
Full-time, yes. And we would ask them to probably do an entry test. And then the entry test would give us an indication of suitable for GCSE. And if it comes out not being suitable for GCSE, then there might be something else we can offer you within the sixth form or somewhere else within the college. I mean, there have been a number of cases where we've had students come in from, let's say, abroad. They've done an entry test, and the entry test has been so good that we've in fact put them on A-levels. So they came in wanting GCSEs, but were so good we actually put them on an A-level program and worked out a sort of GCSE English, GCSE maths alongside it. So a bit like my point that I made earlier, you know, in a school sixth form, you're quite restricted, whereas with us, we are quite flexible in terms of some of the offers that we can make.
That's great. Yes, thanks, Jack. And just to bear in mind, obviously, if there aren't things available within the sixth form, we do have a number of other colleges, and our careers team can have some guidance interviews with you. Another question that's come in: what would the entry test be based on?
So if it's, for example, if it's, let's go with the GCSE, because that's the most common one that students do. So you'll do an English, maths, and a science test. So for example, a GCSE entry science test typically will test sort of key stage 3 knowledge. So it assumes a certain knowledge of basic science. So it would be unfair to give you a GCSE entry test that is based on GCSE knowledge. That would be a bit unfair. So it's sort of maybe like a SATs type paper for those who are familiar with that, sort of a key stage 3 year 9 type sort of question. Not say it's easy, but that's kind of where it's sort of pitched at. For the English, we get you to do some free writing just to see what your level of writing is like, your spelling, your punctuation, your use of your grammar, that sort of stuff, and to the extent what your vocabulary is like. With maths, again, it's sort of pitched at a sort of key stage 3 SATs sort of levels, sort of 7 to 9. So sort of the upper end of the sort of the SATs maths. So that's how I would describe it, really.
Great. Thank you for that. We don't have any other questions that have come in. So at this point, we'd just like to say thank you very much to Jack for giving us an insight into the Uxbridge College sixth form, and hopefully those who've visited us today at our virtual open day have found the information they need. But just to confirm, obviously we are available, we're working remotely, and we're answering those emails and we're answering those telephone calls. And you obviously have the website 24/7, so you can look for any more details. But thank you once again for joining us today, and we do wish you all the very best with your future. And please, if there is anything, do get in touch with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.